What is going on, guys? Joey Franzo here with Flex Training Systems. I'm using a different mic today. I bought this headset a couple weeks ago. Didn't really use it, but I got it mainly because the mic was pretty good. Um, and there'll be less humming on this one, I guess you could say, because my other mic is on my table where there's a fan. But yeah, getting into the video. Today we're talking about a phenomenon that many a young lifter may not understand, which can lead to frustration. And that is, are you getting weaker, right? There's a lot of different times in your training. Um, I think in the beginning, when you're not really kind of in tune with what you're looking for, where you feel like you're getting weaker, and mentally this can play, a big part in how you treat training, how you think about training, how you go about your day. For some, it can really just mess a lot of different things up. So hopefully in this video I'm gonna provide you some insight. I want this video to be something that you can refer back to when you're going through tough times and you don't really understand, why your training isn't all there. Um, and yeah, so this isn't completely off the top of my head. I wrote down a couple notes here. Um, and sometimes people will say to me, oh, this lift got weaker. And, there's so much that goes behind that, and you have to kind of understand, like, is this, more often than not, it's temporary weakness, right? There are very, very, very few cases where you're going to have long-term, like, true, actual strength loss, and it's usually a variable that's, like, outside the gym, or you're constantly doing too much and not eating enough to recover from that work, and then you're kind of like you're damaging your muscles, you're temporarily weak, and then you just kind of keep hammering it and hammering it and hammering it, and your body's literally just trying to survive at that point. Trying to like get you ready for the next session so that you don't tear something, as opposed to fully recovering from your workout and getting stronger. Maybe I shouldn't use the word fully, but couple different times in your training when you're gonna feel weak. It's gonna be maybe a couple weeks into a volume block. It's possible that you might feel weak there. Coming off of a deload for too long, you're gonna detrain a little bit if your deloads last like a month. I think traditionally, used to hear a lot of, talking about like phase potentiate, like different phases of training. Basically, you have your, volume phase, strength, power, all that stuff. I think if you're in that latter phase, that middle to the latter phase, that final phase, like way too long, you're just gonna get weaker over time. And what I've found is you can stay in pretty good shape doing a little bit more or a little bit closer work to the work you were doing during your volume phases, rather than spending like you have good results after like 4 weeks, and then for 8 weeks you literally just got weaker. You know what I mean? Because you're not doing enough. That's like a rare thing. I don't really know of. Um, too many people that are still training like that. But again, so you're doing too much, you're not recovering from it, you're going to feel weak temporarily, you're deloading for too long, you may actually lose some strength just because you're rusty. But fear not, you should be primed to respond to more work in that state, meaning you hadn't been doing a lot. So as soon as you add any kind of stimulus back in, you should respond to it pretty well. It's almost like it's a new thing. And any strength that you were able to maintain during that, deload or that down period, or maybe you went on vacation or whatever, it's just going to be even better when you get back to, kind of the peaks relative to what you were doing before. Um, so couple different points in training where you can feel weak. Also, like leading into competition, I tend to push people close to comps, and then pull them back for a nice little bit of super compensation. Um, I don't always do this, but when I do it, you might feel a little beat. I'll try to give lifters a heads up, like, hey, you're going to be doing a lot. This is going to feel like shit. And that's when you got to be mentally toughest, because you're not going to feel yourself. And, this is not, like I said, it's not always the case. For me, I don't really get too far from my peak strength in training. Um, I don't need to. It's just more detrimental to me the more beat up I get. So I'm kind of always near. I can always kind of hit, 675, 720, somewhere in there. Something decent on squat bench. I'm always within 50 pounds of my top end strength at all times, even when I'm like super going through it. Um, deadlift. I don't really train deadlift enough uh, to give you guys any like relative feedback on, but I do lift when I do train deadlift. I lift very light, except for maybe like once or twice in a block. So, or sorry, in like a fucking meet prep. So yeah, so those are different phases when you can feel weak. Again, so it could be outside factors. You're not eating enough. A lot of times we don't even pay attention to what we have going on outside the gym. Let's say you just started a new school schedule and you get a job at the same time, and you've been training during the summer or whatever, and your summer training's been going great. Now all of a sudden you have these new variables in, but you're not really thinking about them, and you're not really eating more to kind of compensate. And you're lifting like shit, right? And you're just like, you don't even think like, oh my god, like I don't understand. I've been doing the same training. Why am I feeling like shit? When in reality, you've added another variable, which is energy expenditure, right? So it's like affecting your recovery. You're in school now. You start another job. Maybe you're a waiter or something like that, and you're running around. So you're just gonna get beat, and you can adapt to this and get back to kind of where you were, but you do have to be eating enough. You really got to kind of fuel yourself. But for some people, it's just not going to be feasible to make the same kind of progress you were making when you weren't doing enough. A lot of my really, really, really good lifters that you guys watch, they don't really have much going on outside the gym. I mean, they're like physically, they don't have much going on outside the gym other than that they're power lifters, right? I think when you can let other things in your life kind of slow down and just focus on lifting, obviously, you're going to see incredible gains. You can really reach your potential a lot faster. You're going to be, not going to be as beat up and things like that. And you can just give more to each session. The times in my life when I went through like my biggest diets, I didn't have much else. I tried to make it so that I didn't have much else going on, so that I could just focus all of my energy on getting through that. Although on the flip side, when speaking about diets specifically, it does help to kind of stay busy because it keeps your mind off of it. But that was the main thing with the diet, becomes recovery. Like, am I able to recover from my sessions and get back in the gym? And when you don't have sorry, I'm coughing for some reason. Sorry about that. When you don't have a bunch of things getting in the way, you could just focus on what you're doing. Make sure, like, okay, I have my sleep, I drink my water, I ate enough calories, I'm chilling, you're good to go. And then you just kind of get in a routine. Then it becomes second nature, and then success is guaranteed, basically. Because you're always, like, you're handling business, and you're able to facilitate your training through proper recovery, and you're good to go. That is, one of the main things. Like, when people aren't recovering, I'm just like, sometimes I might ask a lifter, yo, like, what is your protein? And they might be like, maybe they're like a 170-pound lifter, and they're like, it's 50. Like, they don't even pay attention. They don't even, and I'm. It might seem crazy, but some people that's just not where they came from. They just trained their life. They didn't really get into nutrition or anything like that. But I think powerlifters that kind of learn from bodybuilders in the recovery and eating aspect are just that much better powerlifters. Paying attention to nutrition. I will literally go out of my way sometimes to get protein, because I know if I have a big lift coming up, it's gonna really mess me up if I'm not recovering. Right? So managing outside factors is a big deal. The next thing I have here is, when do you accept your weakness, right? When is it okay to accept, okay, I got weaker, right? Well, again, if it's temporary and it's mainly training related, you know that it's temporary, like it's gonna, and your coach told you, maybe, this week you might feel a little beat up, but next week we're gonna deload, then you're good. You don't need to really worry about it. You understand why the fatigue is there. You guys have a plan to get through it, and you're good to go. If you take a month off and you go on vacation, you're going to lose strength. Absolutely, you're going to lose strength. There's like literally no way around it. There's nothing you can do. The stimulus is not there. You will lose some strength. You can do some things to mitigate that strength loss, but you're never going to, like, you just gotta accept it. Like, all right, I'm going on vacation. I'm gonna lose some gains, and it is what it is, and that's it. You can't get mad over something that's out of your control. you know, if you're young and your parents are making you do it, then don't go on vacation. I mean, you have to. You have to listen to your parents. But if you're older and you have the ability to do so, then don't go on vacation. If you take 2 months off and your competitor is fucking busting his ass in the gym and it takes you about 6 weeks to kind of get back to where you were, now they are 8 weeks, 14 weeks ahead of you. You know what I mean? That's the difference a lot of the time. Also, if you go through an injury, if you go through a pretty big injury, right, that's out of your control, there's literally nothing you could do about it, and you've missed crucial volume, crucial training stimulus, and you have truly lost strength because of this injury, you have to accept where you are. You have to go into your training with that kind of context in mind, with that mindset in mind, and understand, like, all right, I'm not going to be as strong as I was. I fucking dealt with an injury. It happened. I'm here. There's no way around it. Like there's no way of going back in time and changing what happened. All I can do now is focus forward. You guys saw that clip that I posted the other day of One Punch Man, right? You guys know I love fucking anime and movies and shit. He was talking about, you know, you have to stop, stop worrying about your shortcomings. There's nothing if it's out of your control and it's not something that you have, control over, then don't worry about it. Just move forward. It sucks, but it happened. Move forward. Focus on what's ahead of you. Focus on what's in front of you. Do everything that you need to do day by day to get back up to where you were and surpass that, right? Dwelling on the past and getting mad and all those, emotions and things like that. There's going to be a dude out there that's trying to beat you that's not worrying about those things, right? He's just training. He's got the right attitude. That's how you got to be. And that's it, man. And that's when you got to just kind of accept it, right? So variables outside of your control, temporary weakness in training, coming off of longer deloads, things like that. You just got to be cool with it and roll with the punches and keep it moving. I feel like I haven't said that in a minute. What to do, so this is more like if you have a coach, what to do when it happens. You got to communicate that, tell them what's going on. If you understand where the fatigue is coming from, it's usually not a big deal. I like to do kind of like process of elimination. If someone has something weird going on, we have to find out, is nutrition on point? Is recovery on point? Are they doing too much in training? Are they overshooting when they shouldn't be? Overshooting one single is not going to do this. It would be like you're just smacking yourself with crazy, high percentages relative to your max. I am really sorry that I keep coughing. Sorry about that. Yeah, if you're overdoing it, just doing a lot more tonnage than you're normally doing, you're going to feel beat. That's what's going to do it. That's why it's kind of like, people might freak out over going heavy. I go heavy during meet week, right? I'll take my opener like 3 days out. Like 677 I took before the Arnold, and then I hit 744. Probably had 750 at the meet. Like I said, a single is not gonna tax you as much as doing like an AMRAP or hitting crazy volume is gonna do. But yeah, you just communicate, you make adjustments, and then you monitor how things are going. And remember, at the end of the day, you have to be able to recover from the stuff that you're doing. If you're coming into each week and you're just feeling weaker and weaker and weaker, then you're probably doing way too much. If you're coming into each week and you feel relatively good at the beginning of the week and then kind of a little bit worse by the end, but not too bad, and then the cycle kind of repeats, now we're getting somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I hope you guys are able to take something away from that video. I really appreciate all the support, just on the channel and, Instagram, literally everywhere. I've been saying this a lot lately. I just have a lot of kind of gratitude for everything that's going on. Worlds was an incredibly good experience for me. We just had the big state meet that just passed. I have like 2 coaches corners that I want to do that I'm really excited about. And then I'm moving. There's just so many things going on outside of lifting that I'm really, happy. And I hope you guys can come here and see this channel as kind of like a source of maybe like a glimmer of hope at the end of the tunnel, or like some motivation, or just bring your mood up, some happiness, something like that. you know, through the knowledge that you take away from the sort of library of videos that I'm kind of building up. So I'm gonna make note to fix my sound. I know you guys said it was a little quiet last time, but I listened to it on my phone and it wasn't too bad. I'll do my best to try to fix that. Yeah, guys, let me get a hashtag. Keep it moving, nice and simple, in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for making it this far. If you made it this far, go ahead and drop a hashtag real one in the comments below. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.